Thank you so much for expressing interest in being baptized. You know, baptism is so important, so vitally important to the Christian faith and to us here at Crossroads Church. Pastor Jonathan, why is baptism so important to those of us who are believers?
Well, you know, Josh, what it is, it's a public profession of an internal work. It's what Christ has already done. Baptism is not necessary for salvation. It's not the redemption work. The redemption work is done when we come to that place where we ask Jesus to save us. We recognize, as it tells us in Romans chapter 10, that God sent His Son Jesus, that Jesus is His only Son, that He died and that He rose again, calling on the name of the Lord, and we will be saved. Romans chapter 10, verse 13. What baptism is that next step in obedience, in following after Christ. It's publicly saying what God has already done internally in our lives. Jesus Himself did that. You know, when Jesus began His earthly work, one of the first things that He did was He went to John the Baptist, as you know this story, and He went to John the Baptist and He said, I need to be baptized by you. And of course, John the Baptist said, not a chance, I'm not worthy of baptizing you. You should baptize me. But then Jesus said, no, this should be done. And so the reason baptism is so important is that it is a command of Christ. Christ saying that we should follow Him and do exactly what it is that He did when He began His earthly ministry, of publicly proclaiming, professing what it is, the internal work that God is doing. And you know what happened right after Jesus was baptized? What happened is there was a voice from heaven that said, "This is my Son in whom I am well pleased." And that should be the cry of our heart, the prayer of each and every one of us. When we come to Christ, we want to make sure that everything that we do, that we internally can hear that voice saying, "This is my child in whom I am well pleased." And so that's why baptism is so vitally important to the Christian walk.